Good evening, everybody. It's Andrew from All Racing. Hope you all had a great Cheltenham last week. We certainly did. 3 days of great racing, lots of clues, hopefully for the season ahead. But as always, the season moves thick and fast, and we're on to some more quality action with the Betfair Chase at Haycock taking place tomorrow. The Coral Hurdle. It's quality racing after quality racing now at this time of year. So it is really good at the weekends to cover these races. I really hope, like I said, some of you got on some of our tips last week. We've been in, if we do say so ourselves as a team, we've been in some pretty flying form. So we're doffing our cap a little bit to all of us. And hopefully you've managed to get onto some of these as well. So anyway, we move on to Haycock. I'm going to start at Haycock, sorry. In the first race, actually, is a really interesting novices hurdle. Now, there's a couple of horses in here I've got in my tracker. They've all appeared at the same time, which is a bit hard and frustrating at the same time. But the one took my breath away a little bit, excuse me, on its last run was It's Good to Laugh. Now, the market is suggesting he's on the drift a little bit. The performance it put up at Perth and Hexham over its last two runs has been absolutely super impressive. I can see this one being a really sort of late developer and will go on to bigger and better things as he gets older, being only a 4-year-old. However, this Jenny Candish it looks a right horse. It's in against some top other horses. I know Harry Fry thinks the word of my eye. Obviously, I'm concerned about that. I've watched it run. It pulled a little bit very early in that one's career, but it doesn't seem as sort of race ready as the one that I'm suggesting will win. It's Good to Laugh. Barrichello had plenty of runs. I'm not sure what the form amounts to from that one. And I know Nichols thinks a lot of Sonning Gino. But again, I think, as I'm right in saying, this one is new to the country, new to racing over here. I think It's Good to Laugh. It's got good experience, won very tidily the last two runs, and I can see that one going well. So I thought I'd put that one up for us to get us off to a flyer. At Haycock, we go a fair past the second race. None of us really have anything by way of a strong opinion. I like to put up things at prices. I thought in the 115, I thought Thibault could run quite well in that one. Last season, it ran really well in a lot of these sort of staying handicaps. Slipped down the back to a mark which I think represents something of respectful punting opportunity again. And I think this one will be in the mix in a race that should suit. Hopefully they go fast and this one can finish quite well. That's in a 115. We're going to go, I just want to mention Brave Man's Game, really top class animal. We're all hoping that this one really does do the business tomorrow and cements that one's place in the stay and chasing division, which I hope is hotting up. And also Bob Ollinger, I'll mention in a minute, runs again as well. Into the 225 where the other lads are getting involved as well. First and foremost, as mentioned, a couple of the selections. So I know that Mark likes Bass Rock. As a huge quick improver, this horse won very nicely last time at Carlisle. That was a real step forward, showing its well-being. Had a couple of wind operations over the last year. That does represent something of interest, certainly when you're looking for improvement from a horse, and he did improve again. Now running off an official mark of 130. Is that the ceiling of his mark? I think Mark thinks that it isn't, and he will go very well under a fairly low weight in a race that is normally won by a handicap plot job. So I think Bass Rock is right to highlight that. Steve highlights Dan Levant, who has taken a step up in trip in this race, but has looked nothing other than pretty good so far. He's finished second in the Welsh Champion Hurdle. Always nice form, that. One to keep an eye out throughout the season. However, that was over 2 miles, which is obviously a mile less than it faces today. But Dan's Levant has always been highly thought of by the Williams Yard. It's got loads of experience, this horse, so it won't lack for that in a race of this nature. And I think Steve thinks that it's probably on a tidy enough mark of 135 to do itself justice, with Isabel Williams taking £5 off. I think Dan's Levant is a very good animal. my opinion, and I respect Steve's opinion, but I can't back it. Unfortunately, in a big handicap like that with Isabel Williams on it, I think that I might be proved wrong, but I think you need the more experienced and able pilots for these. But I thought Flight Deck was really interesting. Has gone, it won last time at Wetherby. That was in a race where it beat T's Components lad off 11 stone 12. He's gone up to 133 and gets a racing weight in this race of 10 stone 10 due to a couple of highly rated horses. I think that puts him in the mix, and I wouldn't want to write that one off. Absolutely 100%. There's some absolute class names in here, or back names that you're all going to know, the likes of If the Cap Fits, Did They Leave You Out Too? Horses with real experience. Ask Dylan. There's experienced horses in this race, and it'd be interesting to see whether the young pretenders or something that's just that hardy battened horse, but we're not getting the soft ground we ordinarily get at Haycock at this time of year. So I think that does bring into play those younger legs, and hopefully one of us can come up trumps there. So there is three, but you take your pick. Now into the Betfair Chase. This is crikey Moses. First thing I want to say is Raw Guy, I think, needs softer ground, and if it had softer ground, he'd be really interesting. Really, really interesting. I think there'd be a lot of us very interested in that one. Venetia's had a couple of winners at Ascot today. She's proven a sort of well-being of the yard at the moment, which is great, but I just think this horse is definitely a soft ground animal. We'll wait and see. I may be proved wrong. If there's one in there that could really upset the apple cart, it has to be that one. However, three of us are on the same horse in here, and it's probably going to be no surprise that we all put up A Plutard for the De Bromhead and Rachel Blackmore connections. This is a runner-up in a Gold Cup. This is a horse that's won at the Cheltenham Festival twice, I believe, from handicapping to open company. A Plutard is only 7. This horse is getting better. It's got, obviously, that we've got that experience. The step up to trip has brought about no end of improvements, this one, and I think that we've seen nowhere near the best of A Plutard. I think this is a real live horse for the Gold Cup itself, but ultimately tomorrow it runs in its first assignment of the season. They could have stayed in Ireland. There's plenty of races. They've come here. It's a tip in itself for us, and I think he'll be back. This one will be backed accordingly and will definitely go off favourite. Bristol de Mai is for Tom. Tom's putting that one up. So obviously we've got Steve, Mark himself and A Plutard. Tom likes Bristol de Mai. I mean, you couldn't knock anybody who fancies Bristol de Mai. He is the experienced horse. He's been there, done it. This is his track. This is his time of year. Everything seems to be right for it. Although one thing for me, he does need softer ground. And I think that's the only thing that stops me tipping the other way towards Bristol de Mai. I just think that the younger horse, the horse with the fresher legs again, will probably come and do Bristol de Mai. But he will go well. That grey loves it round Haycock, and anybody who fancies him will have a run for their money. I'm pretty sure of it. So good luck if you do. And then into the lucky last. I wish I could have put this up earlier in the week on the channel and obviously said to everybody, but Strictly a Dancer, I put up at Cheltenham last week, dotted round with no weight on it. Lo and behold, they turn him out very quickly again the following Saturday, which sometimes can be a concern, but obviously this horse can take its racing. He wouldn't be here otherwise. Christian Williams knows what he's doing. Gets in off this race, got up to a rating of 122, which is £7 higher than what he ran in last week. But did he have £7 in hand? I would say so. Jack Tudor now takes the ride, only taking the 3 off, so we're running off a 10 stone 2 essentially in a fairly competitive handicap, although the presence of Ramsey Detay makes it easier for the selection to get a lower weight. I backed this horse on Wednesday at 7-2. I'm sat there a bit smug at the moment. The cash out is pretty handy, but I'm not going to be. I want to win, and I want this horse to win again, and I think it will. So Strictly a Dancer in the last. Over to Ascot, where there's some really tidy racing again. Really good racing, in fact. Opening race is not one I'm going to get too involved with, although I think Jazz King does take the world of beating there. Next race, we've got one of Steve's selections. He likes Ask a Honeybee. I also like Ask a Honeybee, so I'm going to sort of join Steve in that and say that I think that'll win tomorrow. Jeremy Pass is a bit of an error-prone horse, full stop. Won't matter what code that's running under, whether it be over hurdles or over fences. He's here on over fences. I'm just going to go with Ask a Honeybee, who I think is a more accomplished sort of horse. He's got to give the favourite a few pounds, the best part of £5. But I think he can do it in a very small field, be more down to tactics. And I think Paddy will hold on to this one as late as he can and come swooping and hopefully take it up. Really unlucky in a couple of runs not to get its head in front. The last time got outclassed by 300 through 5, which we've now seen is no, it's not a bad piece of form, that, is it? But having seen that one win at Cheltenham last week. So Ascot Honeybee, step forward again, should be able and up to winning that one. The 130 is not a race that any of us have got a selection to put forward. The only thing I'm going to just highlight is outside of the field, Khalid Ale, off bottom weight, won this race in 2019, hasn't won since, but is now again somewhere near an interesting mark. So Horses for Courses at Ascot is definitely one to look at. So I wouldn't put anybody off that for a few quid. Next race, it's the Chanel Farmer 1965 chase. Really good chase. Grade 2 now. Absolutely class race. You've got Dashel Drasher, who I believe Tom likes. He likes Dashel Drasher. I think he just sees course distance, and like I just said, Horses for Courses at Ascot's definitely one of those tracks. He loves it round here. This one will give you a run for his money for sure. Big day for Rex Dingle, taking a ride off Matt Griffiths, who's obviously, I'm not sure in his well-being at the moment, but obviously had a car, I believe he's involved in a car accident. That was terrible, but hopefully he's on the mend. But Rex Dingle takes up that mantle today, tomorrow, sorry. And this is the yardstick horse, the flag bearer, and I can see him going very, very well. The rest of us are sort of torn. I think Steve likes Lost in Translation. You can understand why. I think basically Lost in Translation, there was nothing between Lost in Translation and Defi de Soy 2 seasons ago. Unfortunately for the Tizard team, they just couldn't get this horse right last year. The same can be said for Defi de Soy, and the same can be said for the yards. Neither yard really hit the traps fully last year, but the Tizard yard was really in a bit of a cloud. Now it's flying again. They're winning. They're getting winners on the board on a regular basis. It's not just a patch here and there. So the yard is showing its well-being as overall. I think Lost in Translation at 9 years old still has got running in him, and I think I can completely understand why Steve fancies this one. Perfect distance as well. I never bought in fully to the Defi de Soy over 2 miles. He's a really quick horse. It goes very, very well over 2 miles, but he's just short of a 2 mile champion. What he does do is have plenty of gears, and if they're going at the right speed, Defi de Soy is going to be my selection and also his Mark's selection. I can see why he likes him. I like him because I just think that he's got that turn of foot that you need at Ascot. If you haven't got a turn of foot at Ascot, you don't invariably win. And something that's gone from the front always comes back to them coming up the hill. It's a tough track. It takes a lot of getting, but ultimately you've got to have that finishing kick, and Defi should be there or thereabouts. And I could see it being an amazing race with a real battle right up the home straight. And again, one you couldn't put anybody off. You've got the next race, which is the Coral Hurdle. Fantastic race, actually. 2 of the lads like Buzz. Buzz is for Tom. Buzz is for Steve. Won the Cesarovic. Looked a bloody impressive performance, that. And you really can see why they like him in this type of race. Goshen has got to give Buzz £6. I'm not sure what's going on with that horse, Goshen. But you'd find it hard to believe that that Goshen at this moment in time is £6 inferior to give him on official ratings. There isn't that in them, but it's got to be given. You've also got in here some other really interesting horses, as well as Song for Someone and Guard Your Dreams. Also fully deserve their place in the race. I, on the other hand, fancy something else. My selection is Molly Ollie's Wishes. I was super impressed with this one at Wetherby. Absolutely, on the home bend, made them look like they were standing still. The ground is absolutely fine. The horse goes really well. It doesn't matter whether it's left or right-handed. It's got form going either way, so that doesn't concern me. I just think that there's loads to come from this horse. And really interesting enough, Dan Skelton was interviewed straight after its performance at Wetherby, and he straight away said, let's hope this one is another Roxana. Well, if it is to be, she'll have to win this race and pretty much put herself in that mix. If she's not up to it, then fair enough, but I think at the prices, she's definitely the bet in the race for me. But I go back to Buzz. Buzz is a really, really top animal. The Henderson Yard have always liked this horse. They talked about it as a champion hurdler last year. If it's going to be in that sort of mix, it would also need to win tomorrow, really, getting that weight from the top weight. And then into the last at Ascot. Before Midnight and Sky Pirate reoppose. The weight reversal is there in terms of the way that Before Midnight has gone up and Sky Pirate has stayed pretty much the same. Mark thinks that Sky Pirate will reverse that form. I'm really struggling to argue too much with him. I really just don't think that it's that hard to see Sky Pirate reversing that form. He is a really, really consistent horse now. He's showing that he is at that level. It's really interesting, but he's probably just short of that top notch. He's got plenty of gears. I think the better ground is what it really needs as well. And I can see Sky Pirate being reversing that form as well. And I think it would be very much a case of that one to go all the way and win. Just a couple to mention. Amula Gold obviously won at the last meeting at Ascot. Got up on the dying strides. Got seriously outpaced and then stayed on really strong. You could see something similar happen from that horse. It won't be a million miles away. I think that will be the finisher of the race. They might just go a little bit quick and not come back as fast in this one. And also, right on the outsider again, I think Dolos loves it round here. Absolutely loves it round here. He's still only an 8-year-old. I couldn't believe it when I was looking at that. It seems to have been around forever. Dolos is one of those horses that famously ran out sort of in that race last year or that season before when looking like going to take it up. And I think Dolos for me will be the horse I have a few interesting quid on, but I can definitely see why you like Sky Pirate as well. And the last thing to mention tomorrow is over at Goran Park in the 12 o'clock. Bob Ollinger hopefully got withdrawn last week, but Bob Ollinger comes out and makes its anticipated appearance over the fences. I'll tell you what I will say is they could have found easier assignments than this on debut. There's some really good horses in this race. So if he does go and win nicely, we are really looking at a top draw prospect, which I think we all think we are anyway. Ashdale Bob was a grade 2 hurdle winner. Really good horse. Doyle Care looked like going to win last time. Bacardi's, we know what Bacardi's done. He's running multiple Cheltenham festivals in the Stayers hurdles, etc. So Bob Ollinger will really have to be at it. He's 1 to 3. If he went somewhere near the 1 to 2 mark, it might be of interest actually as a betting prospect. But at 1 to 3, I'll let him do his thing tomorrow and hopefully comes home safe and does it in fine style. Good luck, whatever you're backing tomorrow. The boys have been in great form, as I said. We've all been finding those winners. I had a great day personally at Ascot today, and that was cool to nearly go through the card all the way through and have them in multiples as well. So, guys, whatever you do, whatever you fancy, good luck. Hope you find those winners, and let's take some more money off those bloody bookmakers again. Have a great evening. Take care. Bye.